We just left Etosha National Park. We are back on a paved road, so we stopped to make sure our tires have enough air because we had to let some out for the gravel. And now we're on our way to Spitzkoppe. It's about a 5-hour drive, so we've got a good road trip ahead of us. And hopefully we should be there to see an awesome sunset. We've made it to Spitzkoppe, which is German for pointed dome, and it's also known as the Matterhorn of Namibia. They have really spread out campsites and these awesome huge boulders of granite. You can see the Matterhorn right there. We're walking to this really cool arch.
Just in time for the sunset, and Namibia has some fantastic sunsets, so there's never a cloud in the sky. Alright, since we weren't up watching animals late last night, we're able to sleep in, wake up, get some coffee and hot chocolate, and hike up to see the sunrise.
We are still at Spitzkoppe on some bumpy roads. We're about to go over to this area called Bushman's Paradise, where we're going to look at some cave paintings. There's supposed to be a guide there who tells us a little bit about the area and the paintings, so we're not really sure what to expect, but we're pretty excited to at least go see some awesome, really old cave paintings. Enjoying some shade in one of the caves that the Bushmen used to use in Damaraland.
And if you say Matisa to me, then I respond to you, I means I'm good.
Driving along the Skeleton Coast, made it to the ocean. Waves are big and it's a lot warmer, which is very
warm.
welcome.
It's been cold and it's t-shirt weather, not sweater weather.
Now I'm working on it. One of the stops on the Skeleton Coast is Cape Cross. There are like thousands of seals, apparently between 80 and 100,000. It smells like it's 80 and 100,000 seals around here for sure, but there's a bunch of babies, which is pretty cute, running around. You can just kind of walk along this whole thing, but there's tons in the ocean and a bunch walking along the sides of the boardwalk too.
Cape Cross also has some insanely large waves, and all these seals are just down here getting bashed by them, like trying to swim out and get fish. It's nuts. I would not want to be out in that water. We're at the Vlei Shipwreck on the Skeleton Coast. It's known as the Skeleton Coast because there are such strong currents, and it's also all sand and a lot of fog, so ships constantly wreck here. This is from 2008. It was a fishing boat, and then It's also really dry, so it's also called Skeleton Coast because animals can't live here. We made it to Swakopmund. It has been a great day, and now we are about to walk down the beach to go get some fish and chips from a little truck stop, and the sunset is right over the ocean. It's gorgeous.
Driving to Walvis Bay, just south of Swakopmund, and it is super windy. They actually moved our tour from this morning to this afternoon. So much sand blowing across the road, and this is like the true desert meets the ocean area. But still excited about the tour this morning, or this afternoon. Should be great.
Nervous. It sounds like it's going to be an adventure. Ended our Sandwich Bay Harbor tour and got to ride in a car in some awesome sand dunes. It was insane. It felt like we were at 90 degrees at some points and just on a roller coaster hitting banks, flying through the sand dunes. And now we're sitting and enjoying another beautiful African sunset.
Daily traditions. Got our drinks ready to go.
Sundowners are ready. We are leaving Swakopmund, and today's the day we have to get our COVID test. It's our first time getting the one where they put something up your nose. We're not looking forward to it, but we'll see how it goes.
Not fun.
It's not.
This is what they call an African massage.
A popular spot and stop on the way from Swakopmund out here to Sossusvlei is Solitaire. It's this small little town, like just total desert town, and they're known for their apple pie, and it's delicious. I'm not usually a pie person. Definitely worth the stop.
In addition to the delicious apple pie and Solitaire, they also have these really cool cars. They're just parked everywhere, tractors. Pretty cool place, highly recommend. We are at the line of the Tropic of Capricorn. It has something to do with the sun and where it can be at its highest point.
Yeah, we'll figure out a little bit more about it later. We don't know what it means, but everybody stops here.
hiking up some dunes to go catch sunset, another beautiful African sunset. Already out of breath, barely even gone 10 feet.
Much more grueling than we expected to walk the sand up here. And it took a lot longer, like 30, 45 minutes maybe. But we made it for sunrise and we can pretty much see sunset. And we can pretty much see 360 degrees from here. I told Rebecca to walk ahead of me because she usually walks slower, and I was waiting for that time lapse to finish. I kind of see her running because she said she's gonna run and beat me. But there's no way I'm gonna let that happen. I'm tired already. Easily caught back up.
Okay, I waited for you.
For like 10 seconds maybe.
I got lonely, I missed you. Just finished getting back down from the dune, and needless to say, there's a lot of sand up there. We were up at 5:30 this morning so we could get into the park as soon as it opened, because we are hiking to Deadvlei, which is an old marsh that has dried up and is now a salt pan. Also has some really great views because you can hike up the sand dunes, big red sand dunes all along the side.
This is Deadvlei, and it's highlighted by this huge salt pan and then these dead trees. And the trees are camel thorn trees. They're basically the same ones that we see in the safari, but here they're not petrified, but so dry they just don't decompose. So supposedly they're like 600 or 700 years old, but it's pretty cool to be here as the sun's rising and the sand's turning orange and all the trees are here and everything.
We are starting our hike to Big Daddy, which is this peak behind me. We have to go all the way along the crest line. And I'm hungry.
Uh-oh. We admittedly took a shortcut because we got over the ridge and there was this huge pan, and then it just goes down. You have to go up and down. We saw we're not the only ones. There's some footprints, but there's a lot of steep terrain left. But we think this will make it slightly easier.
Worth a shot. That last section was a lot harder than Alright, a little over an hour to get up. See how long it takes to get down. Straight down. Oh, wow!
It's actually way easier than I thought. longer than I thought to get down. Whew. That probably took a good 5 minutes. I thought we'd be down super quick.
We've made it over to Sossusvlei, and this is what the area is known for and named after. It's very pretty with the water and the sun. The other pan was much cooler in my opinion, but it's really nice here. Kind of peaceful.
I kind of think this one might have been more popular pre-Instagram.
It's nuts how dry like it is here. This looks like the lotion commercials where they zoom in and your skin is like a desert. It's crazy.
Finally, after this entire week or 10 days, I get to engage the 4x4, and it's super sandy and it's a lot of fun to drive. A big drive day, but it is kind of still like we're on safari. There's all these signs talking about watch out for giraffes, elephants, wild horses, and so we get to like scan the whole environment looking for those things. And we did see a few new animals like throughout all of our driving. Today we saw some small foxes, and it was pretty cool.
We are catching our last sunset. I'm so sad to say it. Our last sunset in Namibia. Beautiful viewpoint where we can see the water.
Bright and early this morning start again. The reason we drove out here was to visit Kolmanskop, which is like this old mining town and now a ghost town that's been just taken over by the sand. So we got an early permit where we just let ourselves in with the sunrise. So we're the only one here and we're gonna check it out.
Diamonds were first discovered here in 1908, and by 1930 they had already depleted the sources. They had so much money here. They had an ice factory back in the early 1900s and tons of just huge houses and buildings, and now it's crazy. The desert is just taking them over. It's insane how much we've seen that on this trip, with the desert creeping in.
Crazy. So many of the rooms are just filled to like halfway up the door with sand. And these doors do not move anymore. This whole room is like 6 feet of sand and you can almost touch the roof.
We're about to walk in the hospital and I'm not thrilled about it, but we'll see how it goes.
I think I see this more as like a cool place with all this sand. Rebecca thinks it's haunted ghost town.
Do not. This place had so much money, they had their own bowling alley built.
50-50 on whether or not these stairs break. Well, they actually feel very soft. place was so much cooler than I thought it was gonna be. I expected just a few buildings with some like Instagram opportunities, but it's a huge complex. We just spent like 4 hours walking around here and every building was different. Awesome, totally recommend.
We are now ending our part of our Namibia trip. We are headed back to Windhoek for one last night. We're dropping our car off and then we leave first thing tomorrow morning for South Africa. First raw oyster in Namibia. Am I supposed to chew it?
Yeah. You swallow it. Wash it down with champagne. No champagne?
Nope.
First and last.
Never having it again.